Dr. Louay Eldada, you're a source of pride for our Arab American community here in Silicon Valley. I don't know how many years ago was it that you got your bachelor's, 2 masters, and a PhD from Columbia University. Followed that with a remarkable array of books and books chapters, up to 40, right. 200 technical papers, close to 60 patents, and executive training at MIT, Harvard, and Stanford.
Yeah.
And then you went on, became an entrepreneur, launched 3 companies, sold 3 companies to Fortune 100 companies, worked with remarkable CEOs, right. including Honeywell and GE, Jack Welch.
Yes, yeah.
What drives you?
Well, what drives me is really changing people's lives. I've traveled around the world, I've lived around the world, I've certainly lived a good part of my life in the Middle East and so on. And I think with innovation you can improve people's lives. What drives me is improving people's lives using my knowledge and hiring the strongest team and tapping into our collective ability. I strongly believe that 1 + 1 = 3 or equals even 10 if you hire the right team. And this way we can address challenges that might have seemed insurmountable some time ago.
Remarkable mission in life.
Thank you. Yeah.
And right at the time when we thought you have met enough challenges in your life, you actually rediscovered one.
Yeah.
And launched very recently, about a year ago, Quanergy in Silicon Valley. Can you please tell us about the challenge you're trying to meet and the opportunity that you're pursuing?
Yeah, so when we started Quanergy, we looked at opportunities that can be met with our set of skills. And we identified one large unmet need. It became clear to us that the fact that 80% of car accidents can be avoided is unacceptable. Those are due to lack of awareness, whether it's due to distraction, just lack of seeing the environment around you, whether it's because of blind spots, intersections, poor weather, and so on. But these can be completely eliminated with our solution, the LiDAR solution, which is a 3D mapping system which in real time makes you aware of the environment around you with a 1 kilometer diameter. So with this level of awareness, blind spots disappear, the poor visibility because the weather goes away, and you have a display that shows you in 3D, in a bird's eye view, the environment around you with objects recognized, warnings issued, and if you don't react fast enough, the vehicle can actually take action on your behalf, all the way to autonomous vehicles that can drive themselves.
I assume extraordinary amount of data will be collected
Indeed.
From the LiDAR.
Yes. We will collect a couple of million data points per second. And this is, when I say points, I mean a point in the point cloud, which is the 3D map. Each one of those points actually has many data points behind it because you send a laser pulse, and which has a certain shape. You collect many return pulses from each pulse you send, and you analyze the shape of each one to determine which data points are real, which ones are actually false signals, and so on. We can do all that analysis. So each set of points create one data point in the point cloud, or the 3D envelope of the environment around you. And we can do 2 million of those points in the 3D map. The data is saved on board on a hard drive. So you can upload to the cloud at night using a Wi-Fi connection. But observations that need to be communicated immediately to other users of the system can be uploaded using a wireless connection. Each observation takes just 1 kilobyte actually of bandwidth to communicate, whether it's an accident, a weather condition, a pothole, any kind of hazard on the road, debris on the road. All of those observations can be communicated with 1 kilobyte of information. So a cellular connection can actually do the job for observations that everyone needs to be aware of immediately. But in terms of actually saving the 3D map in the cloud and fusing those maps together to create a global map that has centimeter accuracy, that can be done overnight using a Wi-Fi connection.
Extraordinary. I assume the LiDAR will be on a microchip and it will be mounted in vehicles. There might be some examples that you can share with us.
Yes. So initially the microchips will be mounted on a spinning spindle. You might have seen the Google car. It has a LiDAR on top, the size of a bucket basically. We are making it the size of a small apple, which does the same function. So the microchips are spinning physically in our initial embodiment. future generations actually will be solid state. We're going to be able to steer the beam, focus it, and so on in a solid state manner, just using a silicon chip and using a phase control of optical signals on a chip.
And other than the Google cars, other vehicles can use it as well?
Absolutely. The Google car is a futuristic concept. Autonomous vehicles might not happen till maybe 7-10 years from now, maybe longer. We're not counting on that. Immediately, fleets such as a UPS fleet, for instance, which UPS has 100,000 trucks, and they travel every street almost every day. They can avoid accidents. They can be more efficient with our LiDAR, just simply with the passive version of our driver awareness system, because it will allow them to be fully aware of the environment. They can make turns with confidence. They can avoid accidents. They can avoid the scraping, the hitting a loading dock, and so on. If fleets like that will be immediate opportunities, and for those because they require simply a passive system which does not act on your behalf, you can deploy them immediately in the form of an aftermarket system. Over time, as we get into working with car manufacturers, truck manufacturers, we will introduce active systems which can act on your behalf, brake, steer on your behalf if you don't react fast enough. And long term, we can get involved in development of autonomous vehicles. The same sensor we are building supports all of these applications. It's just a matter of where you use it and whether the legislation supports it.
Wonderful. You have recently raised a seed round of financing,
Yes.
close to $1 million in Silicon Valley. Who are the investors and what would you use the funds for?
Yeah, we're actually very fortunate to have a group of investors who are visionaries and who are really very knowledgeable in the space, who can help us with a lot more than money, with their knowledge and experience and their vision. One of the investors is Wardenclyffe. The original founders of Tesla, Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning, formed Wardenclyffe Partners. And that's a seed fund to support these innovations. They looked at many opportunities, and Quanergy was the first company that impressed them enough to actually make an investment. We also have Transportation Technology Ventures, which has a group of veterans in the space of transportation and mapping. Of course, Newberry Ventures with your network globally, and a Spanish, large Spanish investor from Spain, from Barcelona, called Marquis. We also actually have some other very exciting investors that we will disclose at the right time.
And the money will be used to deploy the product?
Absolutely. We will have within 6 months a prototype of our mechanically spinning LiDAR. We will put it in the hands of customers. They will be able to evaluate it starting in 6 months. Also, within 9 to 12 months, we will have a full system of the type that will go on a UPS truck. And in parallel, we'll be designing the chip, which will be the solid-state solution. That has really no competition in terms of its physical principle, and it taps into our unique background.
Remarkable. Should we hope for a billion-dollar exit in the next 3 years?
I certainly hope so.
The best of luck to you. Thank you very much. Honored to be with you.
Thank you. Same here.